Why was my initial response to being called pretty for a black girl to say thank you? From a young age, I realized the beauty standards in today's society didn't apply to me. From my storybooks, my Barbie dolls, and TV, I was taught that I would never be the epitome of beauty. For years, I sought validation from society that reminded me of my limits in life on the daily. If I start liking someone, my first thought isn't, does he like me back? But rather, does he even like black girls? Because sadly, the phrase, I just don't date black women, has become far too familiar to me. I remember when I was around 4 years old, sitting on the edge of my parents' bathtub while my mom was doing her makeup. I told her that I wanted to tell her something. She had a curious look on her face, as if she was expecting for me to confess to some childish secret or tell her that I want to become an astronaut. I said, "Mom, I want to be white." She looked saddened and disappointed. I remember being confused at the time. I wanted to be beautiful and successful, so why would I want to stay black, right? She looked at me as if she had somehow failed as a mother. But the truth is, she wasn't the one who had failed me. The world has failed black women. I've always been a huge fan of movies, and from a young age, they were always my main source of entertainment. I never noticed or even thought that any of the movies I would ever watch were racist, but the lack of diversity in these films made me subconsciously build an image of who gets to be the main character in real life. The only black people I saw on TV were either the comic relief, the token black friend with 5 lines, and if they were the main character, it was always a racially charged role, where the black stereotype would be used, making a character a criminal or ignorant. I would never see a black woman as a love interest, where her beauty was truly recognized. I think a turning point for me was when Disney's Princess and the Frog came out, and I was elated that there was finally a black Disney princess. But then I realized that she was actually a frog for most of the film, and I started to see the issue. I look at it now and I ask myself, are these the only stories that black people have to tell? Or are they the only stories we will get recognized and allowed to tell because it helps to perpetuate this black stereotype that Hollywood has benefited off of for decades? No one seems to realize the key role media plays in extending the longevity of these negative stereotypes and the effect it has on people growing up. From then until now, the media has made small steps in attempting to improve diversity. And this is where I have to recognize my own privilege. I have light skin, and I've begun to see representation of people who look like me in more movies. But what about darker-skinned black girls? The only characters they're still being recognized for are those in period pieces, where they'll play a driver or maid or slave. So now the black community is segregated by complexion into beautiful light-skinned women and less desirable dark-skinned women. Where did this all begin? Starting in the 1600s during slavery in the US, white slave masters would often rape their female slaves. Sometimes the woman would get pregnant and give birth to a child that was biracial and much lighter than the mother was. The slave owners, although they still saw them as slaves, would reward the fact that the child was closer to white and would allow the lighter children to do less strenuous work inside the house. One reason why they did this was to divide the black community and reduce the power they had by creating jealousy and envy. They succeeded. After the Civil War, Jim Crow laws were applied in the US, where black people couldn't do certain things. This included all ranges of black people from the lightest to the darkest. But even then, lighter-skinned black people would hold what they would call paper bag parties, where they'd compare your skin to a brown paper bag, and if you were darker than the bag, you weren't allowed in. Since then, there have been attempts to unite the whole community and find pride in black features. This has included the Black is Beautiful movement in the 60s, and more recently, the #BlackGirlMagic movement. But the mainstream media has still failed to catch on, which has allowed racism and colorism to continue thriving today. Women of a darker complexion are still being told that they are not beautiful by the world around them, still being told that they are not good enough to be main characters. And it's time for us all to recognize this and make a change. As I've grown into myself, I stopped trying to change because I genuinely just got tired. Tired of straightening my hair every weekend, tired of trying to hide my darker features, tired of seeking acceptance from a society that was built to put me down. I found inspiration from people around me. Living in South Africa, I'm surrounded by so many powerful Black women, and their confidence inspired my self-acceptance. I had to start from ground zero and rewire my idea of beauty. We all have to start making active changes to demand diversity instead of just asking for it. Stop supporting brands that refuse to use Black models. Start boycotting TV shows that don't have Black cast members. Begin celebrating Black beauty that's been consistently put down throughout history. This is the only way we can force the media and brands to change and make more valiant efforts towards a diverse future where a Black girl won't be self-conscious of the skin she was born in. I consider myself lucky to have finally recognized my beauty despite society's perceptions, but there are many that still haven't. In an attempt to be someone they're not, they're losing the potential they had to be something greater. The world is losing someone that could have changed it for the better. Another generation of Black girls are going to grow up wanting to be someone else. Someone they won't ever get to be. And we can't let that happen. Thank you.